BowTie Barbecue Company at 6724 Waters Avenue in Savannah serves up barbecue both familiar and new, made by hand and made with love. Family friendly and relaxed, BowTie takes great pride in the by hand preparation of high quality beef ribs, smoked chicken, pork spare ribs, and more. Come join the BowTie family. Ask about our food truck and catering too. BowTie Barbecue Company, Southern charm naturally. Look for them online at BowTieBarbecueCO.com.
This is the Danny Britt Show live from BowTie Barbecue here in beautiful Savannah, Georgia on an absolutely perfect September afternoon. Christian Gokel alongside the head football coach for your cadets, Danny Britt, coming off of consecutive bye weeks here, getting ready for their fourth game of the season as they head up to the Westminster schools to take on a 2-3 team. And Coach, been off for a couple of weeks now, but before we talk about the varsity team, we had football last week. It's the C team for BC against the C team for Calvary Day, and I think a lot of people thinking about, okay, freshmen and sophomore who don't play a lot going out there. That was a heck of a football game.
That was a very good football game. I'm proud of our guys, and what C team means to us is, all the freshmen and some sophomores, played, and they finally got their opportunity to get on the field, and that was Calvary's JV, which is mostly, after talking to Jason, mostly freshmen and sophomores. And, they got after it. It was a good game and played really, really hard, I felt like. And, it was good to see those guys, get that experience.
And a few guys out there who I was talking about it during the broadcast, that you're going to see a lot more of them coming up in the future, really, really talented guys. Right. And I think Stokes is a guy who kind of stood out, and he's played a little bit on offense so far. Ford and Perry, just those three guys, I think, kind of stand out as you're like, man, how do you replace a Bubba Frazier in the future? How do you end up replacing the Zaquan Bryan? It's those guys. It's freshman and sophomore, start building, and they're the ones you're going to hear their names called for the next couple of years.
Without a doubt, and definitely, Chris has come in, and he fought through the summer in this, camp and came through and ended up in the number 2 spot at running back. And that's why you've seen him some on Fridays. And we've ended up getting him on a couple special teams. And, he can run well, has played really hard, very physical. So excited for him. And Perry is one of those dudes. He's an athlete. He gets after it. He's smart. He's definitely one of those guys that, will be getting the recruiting offers and that sort of stuff in the future.
And again, really fun game, kind of back and forth at both offenses, kind of with a deep well of plays that they could go to. And it's cool to always watch when it's a team that's executing what they're going to be running on the varsity level. And they're running the same plays you guys run, maybe not quite as big of a playbook, but still plays you guys are going to be running. And the guy who is executing it, Thomas Brennan, he's just an athlete. He's a ball player.
He is. He's a good ball player and is doing things doing well for us, and smart kid. He gets after it. He always has. I've watched him play since he was in, I guess, like 4th grade. And he's just tough and loves it and does a good job. So I'm excited watching him. You saw us running this buck sweep, counter, buck sweep.
And he had a good one on a wheel route as well, a little switch concept, guys, and he hit it down the sideline.
He did. And so we do a few things like that. Ran the screen a couple of times, out of the spread. So exactly what we do on varsity, and it's exciting to see these guys do it, implement it, and get ready for the future.
And a few young guys on the line as well, and some of them just sound like law firms or just like made up names, but they just sound like football names. Ridge Reddick out there, Coleman Ziegler, Sullivan Satcher, Everett Nelson, Carson Granger. Just it sounds like if you had to pick names for offense and defensive linemen, those were the names that you would pick.
They are. They're good names, good kids. They got some good size coming up. Ridge has really grown and needs to fill out some more, and he will. But a good player. Carson is a very, very tough football player. I'm going to have to correct him because I asked him this morning if he thought I could whip his butt. And he said he didn't think so. He needs to correct that because I got old man strength. But no, Carson plays really hard and a physical guy and a lot of fun to coach.
Again, really cool. Go over there against Calvary Day, another very good program. Go up against those guys, come out with a win right there. I know, again, C team, but for those kids and their confidence, getting ready to become the next wave of starters coming into BC, how important are those snaps and just developing the knowledge and the know-how to win football games?
Yeah, it's very important, and I think it's been, we try to do that. We are able to get, those type of guys in the scrimmage. then fortunately we're able to get them in during the Burke County game a little bit. But, being able to go and play 4 quarters and, kind of be on their own there is hugely important. We've missed some of that the past few years. It's just hard to get games. And, most people, don't have a freshman team or a C team,
Right.
so, it's good that we're able to play that. Even if we're playing other people's JV, that's fine. But it's hugely important to be able to get that. And we have a JV game coming up later today that we're excited about getting those guys some extra reps.
And we talked about him at the beginning just in a group, but I wanted to single out Damari Perry. He wore number 27 for you guys. He still wears that on varsity as well.
Right.
Those guys just wear the same numbers throughout the season, but he played defensive back, had some snaps on offense as well, had a big punt return, just kind of an all-around athlete. And he seems like one of those guys where the more and more he plays, and obviously Monday through Thursday in practice is where it counts, but it's going to be harder and harder to keep him off the field in the future.
Yeah, definitely. He plays. He's on a couple of special teams for us. And, here's what it is with freshmen. And he's very talented. And what it becomes is an emotional and mental issue for them as you keep going into season. You got to realize they're usually used to starting football when school starts, and then they're over, it's over by the end of October.
Right.
They started the freshmen started in June, and we've been getting after it, to this point, and hopefully will continue till mid-December. So they start wearing that. You can see their eyes glass over, and then all of a sudden they're running around like, oh, get me on, coach, let me do whatever. And they're struggling to do that. So that's the issue. But Perry is a very good athlete, will strike you. He's very smart, can do a lot of different things. So we're excited about what we can do. And we've gotten him on a number of special teams, and he just needs to continue to produce there and take his beating on a scout team. That's part of it. And keep growing.
That's a pretty good scout team. If you had to project out, where do you think he plays in varsity?
He'll be that slot guy, and then corner. He'll be a corner and slot guy, return guy.
Been plenty of guys to go on to the next level who have done that.
Yeah, definitely.
Done that for you guys. Well, just take me through the overarching program this past week. I know we spoke about it was kind of just going back to you guys as a whole, fundamentals for the first week or so, and then once you get into this week, it's game week, maybe a more routine schedule, getting ready for an opponent.
Right. That definitely last week was more of just trying to find the things we needed to correct and really focus on that without beating them up. Again, the goal was to get through these 2 weeks and have everybody back physically. And, I think we've done a pretty good job of that. But then this week it was back to your normal. A Monday is a Monday, a Tuesday is a Tuesday. And there's comfort in that. It feels good because you know what you got coming. You put a lot of work in on Monday and Tuesday. And then by Wednesday, you start to kind of lighten up and you know what you want to run, and you get to the details of that. And by Thursday, it's kind of a run through, and it is what it is.
And again, you guys getting ready for a very good Westminster school, but going through this week, just kind of correcting those mistakes. I know a lot of it is you got to know who's available. And I think for you guys, maybe since the Camden scrimmage, we'll have the healthiest roster you've had.
Without a doubt, we'll finally have most everybody back. So you're back and healthy, and that has been the key. And we had a lot of depth in areas, but it started waning fast,
right?
And hopefully, it'll help us out with that.
And so I know that means Josh probably back starting his X position on offense, but defensively for you guys, maybe the first time seeing that back four who we've been expecting to see all year.
Yeah, definitely. We got Mackay is back and has had a good 2 weeks, and didn't really do much that first off week. Last week got back slowly, and then he's gonna have a little bit of trouble with his breath,
right?
Because it took him a minute to kind of get back with that, but obviously Landon is good to go, and Landon Harris is ready to go in, and he did well. I'm proud of what he did. He grew up a lot for a 15-year-old kid. He's got a big future as well.
And I know 4 guys, like you talk about catching your breath, it feels like you talk about starting in June, it feels like for those first 2 or 3 months, you're not just playing the other 11 guys, you're also playing the weather as well, just because you're thinking about how tired and how hot you are out there. Do you find a little bit further you get into the season as guys get conditioned, but also as the temperatures start cooling down, those practices get a little bit more lively?
It is. It's more enjoyable. When you're out there and it's 97 degrees,
right.
it's miserable.
It's hard to do anything.
It's hard. It's hard being out there without the pads, and these guys are in pads, and we're yelling and screaming and pushing. And so yeah, as the weather gets better, it gets so much easier, and and gets a little more enjoyable, a little more lively, as you said, and definitely the weather greatly affects that.
And again, coming back, finally getting ready to roll, and as you're looking at this upcoming schedule with your coaches, big trip up to Atlanta here. I always think this is cool because it gives you that opportunity to make sure the structure is there for if you guys have to do it again come the playoffs. How big is just not just the game, but you guys as a coaching staff and as a program running through this next week?
Yeah, it's always important to do that. I mean, we've gotten it down the past couple of years, but to know that it's there, know that the process is there, what we're doing, getting all the equipment there, getting everybody there, and having on time, and the timing of it all, and getting everybody back, etc. So that's part of it, and making these big road trips is eventually to get where we want to be, we're going to have to do it.
I know a lot of conversations just about the offense through the first 3 weeks of the season, and I know second half, maybe second half of the third quarter where you really started to pick it up. Right. But do you feel like you saw that progression continue through these past couple of weeks, or is that, hey, we're going to wait and see until Friday?
No, I mean, we saw the progression. That a lot of it's timing and that sort of thing, and a lot of it's getting the guys back. It's hard to have timing with the offense we run when you don't have the same guys out there. It's just really difficult. But I think it did. Now you can't really know. I mean, you can go against scout team all you want. When you get out there in a game and real scenario, it gets real. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes tomorrow night.
Again, Westminster coming up on Friday. We're going to preview that next. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with more right here from BowTie Barbecue.
Cash and Carry wants to buy your car. New, used, running or not. Miles don't matter. We pay cash on the spot. Fast, easy, and hassle-free. Call today. Cash and Carry, where your car turns into cash.
Welcome to Sandnat Golf Carts, where luxury meets quality. We offer a wide selection of top-notch custom golf carts to suit your every need. With our extensive inventory, you're sure to find the ride of your dreams. Plus, our flexible financing options make it easier than ever to drive one off the lot today. Whether you're cruising the neighborhood or joyriding with the family, Sandnat Golf Carts is here to provide exceptional service every step of the way. Visit us today to elevate your ride.
Criminal defense, family law, DUI, and divorce. You need representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted a Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023. Online at jvdattorney.com. BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on. As the world's largest lifestyle retailer of recreational boats and yachts, MarineMax is dedicated to connecting people with life-changing experiences on the water. More than just a boat retailer, MarineMax offers a complete range of services. 3518 Old Tybee Road, Thunderbolt, and online at marinemax.com.
Welcome back in to the Danny Britt Show. Christian Gokel alongside head coach Danny Britt as we get ready for a big week for your cadets. They're back on the football field this Friday night at the Westminster Schools, taking on the Wildcats. Coach program 2-3 on the season, started off with 2 wins and had a rough go of it the past few weeks, but against some very good programs up there like Greater Atlanta Christian. What can you tell us about the Wildcats?
Yeah, well, first of all, games are often won in the fourth quarter. Retirement is no different. The final stretch matters most. Abel's Iron-On Moore & Associates helps you prepare from the opening kickoff so you can finish strong. Local, trusted fiduciary advisors focused on your success. Contact AIMA at 912-777-4128 or visit their website, AIMAINC.com, to start building your winning strategy today. Westminster is a very well coached, team that's going to be where they're supposed to be, going to do a lot of different things to you, a lot of, offensively, a lot of, different formations and that sort of stuff. Not as much as we've seen in the past, to be honest with you, because they did. Coach Romberg retired after, I think it was 30 38 years or something. And, so a new coach has come in, and, they're doing good things. They're going to play really hard. They always do. And we got to be prepared for that.
And again, a very well-coached program. I hear coaches, not just you, a lot of times when they kind of open up their press conferences with weeks like this, it's a very good football team that we're going up against. But when you actually mean that, when you say we're going up against a good football team, what are some of those kind of superlatives that you're looking for?
Yeah, well, one, offensively, we'll talk offensively. They're going to have a number of different things they're going to do, and it doesn't seem to affect them. And then, they have counters off of everything. And in other words, the receivers, they understand when to turn a wheel route into a switch route, and when they went, just things like that you're going to see, and they'll settle down and take the 7 yards instead of trying to hit the big route. Defensively, they're going to be very sound. They're going to do a number of things to you and kind of take the numbers as best they can and then play really hard. And they do that. And a lot of times, they may be outmatched, but they're fine with taking the knees out of the lineman and then letting the next guy make the play. So, and then special teams are always going to be solid and well coached and be where they're supposed to be in their lanes and that sort of thing. So they're not going to hurt themselves. You're going to have to physically beat them.
And I know you guys put out goals for yourselves each week. What are some of those that you've set for this week?
Yeah. Well, one, and we just want to go out, and the biggest thing is be who we are. Do what we do and not let anybody else dictate that to us. And, offensively, that means we're running a lot of different stuff really fast and moving in motion, and it's smooth.
Right.
All right. That's kind of what we're looking for there. And of course, we want to run for over 200 yards, and, we want to be balanced in the run pass game and all of those different goals. But we want to be the best. We want to look like Benedictine is supposed to look. And that's the main thing we're trying to do right now in every phase of the game. Offense, defense, practice, everything is let's worry about that, getting Benedictine where it is at a certain level, and then you can dial more in on who you're playing.
And I know for you guys and the players more specifically, you want them focused not just on the next game, but just on the next snap. Just focus on what they need to do to best support their team. But for you guys as a coaching staff, how important is it to kind of build off of that momentum you had in the second half against Burke, just in terms of execution and effort with the team? Because next week, man, it is like cold water getting poured on your head. It is go time.
Yeah, it is definitely. So we it's huge. And been a big break here, which I think we needed, but in the same sense, it's not always
right.
It's not always easy to restart after that. So hopefully we'll go out and immediately restart, start strong. And we've talked about that. And it's very important to go out and hit that momentum, get it rolling. And so that, we're rolling into next week feeling really good about what we're doing.
Again, for you guys hitting the road, taking on a good Westminster team, if you just had to give us one thing that needs to go right for you guys to go out there and win, what would it be?
Yeah, I think two things. We just, again, get to what Benedictine is supposed to look like. But offensively, defensively, special teams, just go out and execute what we do well, and we'll be fine.
And, Coach, looking at the region, we talked about it, getting ready for that run coming up where you have at Ware County, then you turn right around and welcome Warner Robins in. Then you get another bye week before finishing out the season. As you guys have kind of self-scouted, I'm sure took it some time during the bye weeks to look at the region, what are some of your kind of overarching thoughts as you get ready to dive in?
Yeah, obviously a very good region, and Ware County is hitting it on all cylinders. So that's going to be a major battle and very tough for us. We feel like every other game is winnable as well, but we're going to have to really bring our A game and get better each week. But we feel good about what we're doing and what it looks like versus what the other teams in the region are doing.
And some news from the region, Coach, this past week. You never like to see when a coach and a team separate, but in the region, Wayne County and John Morgan have kind of decided to go their separate ways. I know Wayne County, a very good program, John Morgan, a very good coach, just maybe not the best fit in the end.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know exactly what how it all ended. I did talk to Coach Tex with Coach Morgan yesterday. Just told him, hey, hate to hear it. Let me know how I can help, and hope he'll find his way and get back on his feet, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Again, at Westminster coming up on Friday night. Kevin Thomas and myself will have a video call for you starting at 7 o'clock with the pregame show, and then we'll dive into it, presented by Cash and Carry. But, Coach, I know you had a chance these past few weeks to sit there on the couch and watch some football. I know we always talk about college, but as a man who grew up playing football in the state of Georgia, the Atlanta Falcons have kind of always been pushed to the side a little bit. I don't know how much you got to watch on Sunday night, but I think for maybe the first time in my life, I saw a physical Atlanta Falcons team.
Okay, I hate to break it to you, Christian. I didn't see a single snap of that. No, actually, we took a group of the boys tubing. My wife. That's
more important.
Yeah, my wife had been talking to them about that, and she woke me up Sunday and said, "I want to do this." So we took a group of the guys tubing along with the Klein Peters and brought them back and grilled burgers and dogs for them. So that's what I was doing.
That's way more important.
Yeah, so I didn't see any of it. Honest to God, I hadn't watched the Falcons in a couple of years. I just not a huge NFL fan. I mean, I like it just because unbelievable talent and abilities, and I enjoy that part when I can. But I'm glad. I'm glad for the fact my dad, who's been dead 18 years, would be very happy with the Falcons if they're playing physical, and he would be happy.
You had Jalen Walker and James Pierce. Spent all that equity on pass rushers in the first round. Finally got some sacks. I think 5 in the first half for the Falcons, which is like the antithesis of Falcons football is getting after the quarterback. So for me, as a lifelong Atlanta fan, actually seeing a physical football team is wild to see, because usually it's the thing that ruins my weekend, where it's like, I'm not going to do it. All right, I'll watch them for a little bit, and then you're depressed, and it just kind of ruins the rest of the weekend. So usually about 5-6 weeks into the season, I'm just like, I'm not giving them my Sundays.
I think you and a lot of people are like that.
But I think they're pulling me back in. All right, so let's flip to college. I know you watched that, and we talked about this last week, and I wanted just to give you your flowers, because a lot of people were busting on them, and you were like, just shut up and watch. Your guy Gunnar Stockton goes into Knoxville, Neyland Stadium, 102,000 people screaming at him. They had the decimal meter going and everything, and I don't know, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Pretty good showing.
I don't know why. I just ordered some food, and I didn't go tell the cook how to cook it. I don't know why people don't ever believe me when I talk about football and I have an idea about what I'm talking about. But Gunnar's a dude.
Yeah.
And I get it. That game against who was it? The
Austin Peay.
Austin Peay.
Yeah.
Didn't look beautiful. But Gunnar is a dude, and he proved it. And that's why the locker room is so enthralled with him, is because of what you saw.
Right.
It was cool, calm. I mean, that throw on 4th down that he basically handed to Humphreys was, is unbelievable. I mean, that was beautiful, and great catch too, by the way. So, very proud of him and excited for him, and in no way surprised, but relieved that he was able to go out and put the show out like that.
But as a football guy too, that game had to be just awesome to watch, because you had like 2 very kind of opposing offensive philosophies, even though Georgia ended up running 96 plays in the game. But just watching the way Josh Heupel runs his offense, again, Mike Bobo, the way he runs his offense, Glenn Schumann, Tim Banks, just a lot of really good football minds. That had to be fun just for you as a football guy to watch.
It was, and I was able to watch it. Then we have the 10 at Georgia Southern. So at halftime we left, and I missed part of the 3rd quarter, and then we got to our tent, which we have a TV, and was watching that as Georgia Southern was getting kicked off. But it was great to watch, and it was very, very good football, very good coaching. Obviously, unbelievable environment.
Right.
I talked to Gunnar's mom, Sherry, and she said that was the craziest environment she's ever been a part of, and they've been a part of some pretty good ones. So that was awesome.
And I know, again, just some big wins this past weekend. Also, your flowers here. Brent Key's a football guy. Go out there and knock off Clemson. I mean, that's about as significant of a win for a program that you're trying to get going in the right direction as you could get.
I think Brent Key is like you said, a football guy. He's tough, and he's brought that to his team, and they're not afraid of anybody.
Right.
And I'm not, they're not saying they're going to go win a national championship this year, but they're going to win. Everybody that he plays, they're going to know they were in a game, because that's where he's at. I think he's recruited that way. I think his kids have bought into it, and they're playing really hard.
And then you mentioned it. You grew up in Statesboro this past Saturday. Watching the game, looked like a great environment, packed out,
Right.
Paulson there, and against a very good Jack State team that I think people kind of look at Jack State and they're like, Georgia Southern should win that one. Jack State's knocked off some teams this year, and they're a very well-coached team.
Right.
You guys go out there able to execute offensively, maybe a couple of missteps defensively, but I think a good look after a tough West Coast swing.
Definitely so, and that's what we talked about last week. Was ready to see them get in their division,
right?
They're and really see what we could do. And Jack State was very good offensively. Now I think they were, they have built offensively and were a little weaker defensively. But yeah, it was great atmosphere, a lot of fun. Very proud to be a part of it.
All right, one more question, and we'll let you get out of here, Coach. Going back to Gunner, I know coaches hate player comps, but Russell Wilson.
I can see it. No, I see what you're saying.
Like enough wheels to like get out of trouble, and you're never going to be in a bad position. And then he's got, I'd say, like that similar kind of arm too.
Yeah, I think so. He throws a great deep ball,
right.
but nobody's ever said, well, he's just got this absolute cannon.
It's not a laser beam
right,
like a Carson Beck.
And it doesn't have to be either.
Right.
That's what. If
you're on time, it doesn't have to.
If you're on time and but I can understand that. I think he would take that and can move and smart and leader and all the things. Yeah.
So Russell Wilson's won a lot of football games too. I know people give him flack for the past couple of years.
I don't know what happened
games.
with Russell Wilson. I know, because DeMarcus played, with him out in Seattle, and he was a superstar and everybody loved him. DeMarcus loved him, thought the world of him. The whole team did. And then I guess when he was traded, somehow it fell off and people started kind of mocking him or something. I'm like,
he threw for like 400 yards this past week against Dallas.
I don't get it. I'm like, the dude's unbelievable. I would guess Hall of Fame type guy, right?
I mean, he's got to be right there and handoff away from a second Super Bowl ring for him there.
Oh, my gosh.
Again, I think a really fun week this past week. I know you guys have been off, but you're ready to get back on the field. But for fans, get up to Westminster if you can make the trip. If not, tune in, watch us, and we'll have the broadcast of that game for you starting at 7 o'clock. Kickoff at 7:30, and then a fun weekend of college football. And then maybe we can talk Coach into watching some NFL on Sunday. Man, I know you got to be excited to get back on the field on Friday.
Yeah, definitely excited. I know the kids are excited, ready to play football.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it as always. And again, tune in right here. Coming up tomorrow is Kevin Thomas and myself will be up at the Westminster Schools bringing you the live broadcast of that game. For Coach Britt, Christian Gokel, appreciate everybody tuning in.
Go Cadets.